as covered hands have their cause in the position of the shoulder blades. When you see how the shoulder blade is moving along the movement my hand is covered, it is clear to see how the shoulder falls forward. Also, this is an everyday habit that you take with you from the office work. For example, the rather round upper shoulder area is very often linked to this activity. We will have a little look and while riding and try to work out solutions. Okay, with Annika we see the problem very clearly as it is at this moment. The back of her hands are facing almost completely towards the ceiling, hence upwards, and the shoulders have fallen forwards. Also, we see a relatively immobile lumbar spine and a little nodding of the head. Okay, we do a small exercise for your own awareness. The fact is that our body always works with the muscle chains. In this case, I want to show you the straightening and rather diminishing muscle chain, the flexor and extensor muscle chain. Leave your arms hanging on the side and now you start with your hands. That means you are turning your hands, that your thumbs are moving outwards. Exactly. And you let the movements all the way through, then you will feel your shoulder blades contract. Exactly. Your head moves slightly in the direction of your neck. That's already enough. And now you start again at the hands. Your thumb turns inwards. More. Yes. Perfect. And again, straighten from the hands. Correct. And again, turning the hands inwards. Exactly. Then you will feel how the shoulders follow perfectly. Exactly that. If you pay attention to your thoracic spine, you will feel how now your breastbone comes up. You're straightening in the upper area and roll up again. There, the breastbone sinks in. The thoracic spine gets rather round. Now look if you can find a good centered position. So firstly, extremely straighten up, extremely rolling up. Good. Now look for the middle. Exactly. The middle, that allows your arms to hang relaxed. That leaves your breastbone up, but not too much up. That you are not tense, but you are nicely straight. So, and if you now take the rein position, exactly, that you simulate the rider's hand, very good. Now, for example, it always looks very good around your shoulder area. Good. If you now start to also imitate the compensation of the nodding movement, correct? Yes, exactly. And watch out that your shoulder blades stay connected. Have a quick look at me. That you are not doing this, but more out of the elbow. Right, and the contact of the shoulder blades remains steady. Very good. Yes, exactly. Now, it is the aim that you will get an idea about how you can use your arm more efficiently. I am now imitating the pull that arises on the reins, and you just hold against it. Exactly. Okay? I feel that you have a lot of tension here. Okay, just relax. Try to develop an idea how your arm not only reaches to your shoulders, but it reaches over your shoulder blades. And the force that you will use is compensated here. It means whenever I pull at the front, you have an idea that the point of the shoulder blade slides to your pocket, the back pockets. Give it a try. That, exactly, and soft again. Good. And it's very important that we do that very slowly and little. That means I started very gradually building up the force so that you can slowly adjust to it up there. Because if you do too much, it quickly results in such a buckling. And this is not what we want. Okay. You imagine that your arm is not only reaching to your shoulder, but here until down there. Okay, slowly. Yes, that was good. And soft again. And once more, slowly over the shoulder blade. Super. And release. Now, once more, the old variation. Exactly. What do you feel? How does it feel? Stronger, with more force. Exactly. A lot more pressure. Yes, exactly. A lot more force and pressure. And that's again what your horse feels. You are a lot harder with your hand. Well, hard is a big word, but you are a little rougher with your hand and a little more gross motor and compensated out of a strong bicep. And if you manage to transfer the pull over your body and over your shoulder blade, then it will be much more defined and softer in the connection to the horse's mouth. Exactly. Release and again. Good. Okay. Now try to get this idea with you onto the horse. That means you have a light connection to the mouth and work with the two tools that we have just developed. That means, so you are aware of it, to make the difference clear to you, you go back into the old pattern. Doesn't have to be much, only a little bit. The backs of your hands show upwards. Now you start thinking about the whole muscle chain. Your thumbs turning outward, your breastbone comes up a little, your shoulder blades come into the right position, and you start to derive the connection to the mouth over your shoulders. Exactly. Leave her a little longer. That's you. Yes, exactly. That you don't have that much in your hand right from the beginning. And that will be easier for you. Just like we built it up slowly, we will do it here as well. Exactly. Once again, the shoulders a little right. And again, build the whole chain. The thumbs move a little. Correct. To the outside, like this. We will get hands into the upright position, and automatically your breastbone lifts itself and the shoulder blades slide into the correct direction. And now you can derive the force needed to communicate with her. Yeah? Yes. Does that make sense? Can you get something from it? Yes. Okay. The goal is to get more lightness and more functionality into your arms and your shoulder girdle. So the connection to the horse's mouth gets lighter and more efficient. Nice. And then I would like to take your thumb position into account, because I'm seeing that you are flatly pressing your thumb onto the rein. Exactly. So the little roof position of the thumb is more important than someone would think. Then take both reins into your outside hand and make a fist with your inner hand and press the thumb flat on top. Right? And you try to simply move your hand in circles. Just get aware of the quality of the movement. Okay, and now you're putting your thumb onto the rein in a roof-like shape. Imagine that you have the rein in between your pointer and thumb and hold it tight. When you are moving your hand now, how is it? A little more movable to the inside? Yes, more movable in general, right? Yes. If you compare it, when you do the circles with the roof are now circles. Good. Now again flat, press it down and circle. More tense. Yes, correct. It's much stiffer, right? Yes. That's it. That makes a very big difference. You can be more soulful with your hand if you put your thumb on top in a roof shape. Just because the muscle you need to press your thumb flat on top blocks your whole wrist, like this, you take yourself a lot of agility. Okay, now we go to the exercise room and rework the whole thing on the ground. So we simulate the same situation like on the horse, but with the difference of a quiet surrounding. And additionally, Annika does not have to focus on her horse as well. Good. Let your shoulders drop forwards a little consciously. Exactly. Hands and thumbs are back in the roof shape, right? And you will just feel what happens in your shoulder girdle. How it feels, how your bicep works, what kind of tension is building up inside you. I start building up a light pull onto the reins, right? Your shoulders are forward. Now I start to simulate a nodding movement, like your horse does in a walk. Good. And now you start thinking about the awake driver. Exactly, super. What are you feeling? When I have my shoulders in front, it is very tensed and cramped. Yes, and in relation to the compensation of the nodding movement, it is easier to follow the movement when the shoulders are back. What I, as the horse, give as feedback, you are much lighter in this moment. When you have your shoulders forward, the feeling is much tighter. It can be concluded that it is more comfortable for the horse when the rider has a relaxed shoulder girdle, can follow the movement easily, and like that, the ability to act well on the horse, especially on the nodding movement in the walk. This exercise is probably also very interesting for trainers. It is very good as a partner exercise and is very enlightening to increase the sensitivity. Okay, we do it like this. you are holding me. I am going to let myself fall backwards. And it would be nice if you wouldn't let me fall. Okay, I deliberately kept my shoulders in front and you are just feeling how I make you feel. Standing back on my feet, I go into the extreme straightness. Right, you are just feeling how I make you feel. And now I take a little time. Let my shoulders fall into the optimal position and lean back again. What is the easiest for you? How it is now? Okay, the others are a little cramped and stiff. Exactly, that's the point. Whenever you get into the end position, whether it is the shoulders too much forward, or if I want to do an extra nicely and straighten myself a lot more, we get into a position we cannot follow the movement. We cannot be agile. Likewise, this ends up at the horse, and Annika felt it really good, and she could hold me the easiest when I was well balanced. My shoulder blades were in the correct position, and I also could be flexible. We now have another exercise which looks like this. Our feet are closely together and we both have our shoulders forward. And our aim here is to hang equally on each other. Right, let yourself fall back. More. Shoulders are forward. Good. Yes, exactly. So now we are going to change that. The shoulders are moving back extremely. Just be aware of how it feels. And now we let the shoulders... that's cool, right? All of a sudden, it is really easy. Leave yourself hanging even more. We could go even more hanging. Exactly. We can hang here on each other easily, but still be flexible. And that is the key. I need to be flexible while riding. In the moment I do this, I get stiff. The light, easy connection to the horse's mouth is gone. In my opinion, it is very enlightening exercise that clearly shows why the middle position of the shoulder blades and a good level of straightness are very important. So whenever I go into the extreme position, the aim cannot be reached. And if you want to practice what you have done in the partner exercise, the soft hanging on each other, just use a band and bind it at home to the heater, to something that can hold you and practice it. So you are now the heater and I hang backwards a bit with my shoulders forward and I look for the position that makes it easy for me to be flexible. And by trial and error I find it all by myself. In the end, only extreme positions and variations will help me find the best position. The pattern of covered hands is often linked to the clamping pattern. The clamping pattern is the most extreme form and looks like this. The knees are facing outward and the rider holds onto the horse with his lower legs. It is in our nature to coordinate arms and legs simultaneously in an inside and outside rotation. It is very important for riders to disconnect these movements and to practice moving arms and legs independently. When we look at it while riding, the rider's leg position is okay, but he has covered his hands and gets the instruction to upright them. When the rider is not able to disconnect the connection, he will automatically fall into the clamping pattern. Then he will be told to stop clamping and it will return back into the covered hands. And this is how the game continues. That means for the rider it is very important to be able to move arms and legs independently. We practice this once. Let's test it. Extreme movements. That means the knees are showing outwards, hands are showing outwards, and now you simply do this. Right, this is what we like to do. What is easy for us and what works well all the time. Now we do it in opposite directions. Knees together, hands outwards. Right, and that continues. Good, that is not Annika's problem. But especially for trainers, it is a very exciting exercise to do with their students to check if they're able to do that. To do this exercise like that. Sometimes there are very exciting outcomes, and it is definitely worth it to train with students to make it easier for them to disconnect arm and leg movements while riding. During our little exercise series today, it was clear to see that a good positioning of the hands, and especially a functional straightness and functional positioning of the shoulders, is extremely important for soft aids and a coordinated connection to the horse's mouth. Try it out and I hope you will receive good achievements and I wish you a lot of fun riding.